Hi guys, this will be episode 4 with this little Chicco car. I converted it to full hobby grade in that we've got a servo for the steering and an ESC for the drive motor and a Flysky 3-channel receiver for the radio control. Unfortunately, I got a bit carried away playing with it and it looks like I've killed the gearbox. Still alright in reverse, but it really doesn't like going forwards. So, episode 4, I could try and take the gearbox apart and have a look at it, but I suspect the only way to get the gearbox apart is to get the wheels off first, because it's one of these builds where unless you get the wheels off you can't lift the gearbox out and the axle, because it's got to come up through those slots, and with the wheels in place you can't get it up. You could just chop these bits out the way, and that's probably what I will do, and then we can, well no, even that won't work. You've actually got to chop the whole of the top off because the whole wheel's got to come up there. And I've tried doing this in the past, and the wheels are a push fit onto the end of the shafts, onto the end of the axle, and you usually can't get them off without actually damaging the wheel. So what we're going to do in episode 4 is not look at the gearbox. We're going to take this bit apart and see if we can get the old receiver out and see if we can activate the sound effects directly without using the 40 megahertz receiver transmitter. So I think I've got to undo these screws here to remove the black section, and then we can lift the receiver out with it. Because it's just a little bit too awkward to try and work on where it is. If we can activate it, we should be able to get the lights working. It's got LEDs at the front and LEDs at the back, and it's also got a speaker there, so it must have sound effects. One at the front, missed that. Get it apart a bit, it's still a bit tight, but I should now be able to get through to those screws which were hidden. And then we might be able to get it out through this gap. Okay, there's our aerial. So can we feed that through there? Still going to be awkward. How awkward. Oh well, we'll just have to try and work on it where it is. I think this is the sound control, sound chip. And I think that's the receiver chip. And that beeping noise is my tea's ready. So we'll stop this for now and we'll have a look later. Right, you're really not going to be able to see very much of what I'm doing here. I'm making the assumption that this black blob on here is the receiver decoder chip, I suppose I could call it. The equivalent of the RX2 on most of the other receiver boards, the normal toy grade. And most of them are made around the TX2, RX2 pair of chips. TX2 for transmitter chip and RX2 for the receiver chip. And I think that black blob replaces it. The problem is I can't actually identify any outputs from it to identify what does what. On the other side of here, those will be the H bridges for driving the motors. So when you find the right one to apply power to or to switch on, it will drive the motors. Now I'm playing around in here. This is not a good thing to do. I'm probably going to blow up more than I'm going to find, but I find if I go just there as a source and go on, I think it's R16 there, you might see this motor is driving, which is that's connected to the drive motor output from that ribbon cable. So I'm going, yeah, R16, it's going one way. Where was the other one? Yeah, and that's going the opposite way. That's R11, I think. Well, it's a bit difficult to tell where those numbers actually refer. But that's making that motor go one way, that's making it go the other way. And then I've got that motor temporarily rigged up. So if we use the same output, we go on this R17 resistor, that goes one way. And if I go on, was it R18, I think, or was it R19? That one. That's going the other way. I mean, this really isn't very helpful. What I'm trying to do, as I say, is activate the soundboard to get the speaker to make some sort of noise. But I haven't done that yet. I did find something somewhere was actually switching the LEDs on. I know if I go all the way over here I can switch the LEDs on, but that's more or less switching them on direct. Oh, they're not coming on now. Maybe I'm not making contact. I did get some sound just now out of one of them. That's the motor again. That's that motor. That's that motor. What's that motor again? Getting a click from the speaker. There's the red LEDs coming on. Oh, can you see them? Yeah, they are just in camera shot, aren't they? Oh, and that's the white LED coming on. Apologise for the mess. But that's just the way I work. So that's making a speaker. White LED, which is the front light. Red LEDs, backlights. Well, that was the motor just then. But we're not actually getting whatever the sound effects are. Bit of sort of poke and hope, to be honest. If it was a normal chip with nice legs on it that I could actually count the legs on, I could look it up and try and get some sort of sensible result. But we're not going to get that. Oh, and one of the other receivers, I was talking about the motor outputs being labelled F and B for forwards and backwards, and L and R for left and right, and I said some other ones are labelled M1, M2. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but this one's labelled M2 and that one's labelled M1. M1 minus, M1 plus, M2 plus, M2 minus. Can we see that? I think you can just about see M2 plus and M2 minus. But I don't think we're going to be able to trigger this little chip, which is a shame. There'll be a link in the video description to my playlist where I do play around with the RX2, TX2 chips. Because they're nicely laid out and you can download data sheets for them and see how they work. But you're a bit stuck when you've got something like this. You're just guessing. Well, I'm just guessing. Played around with it a little bit more and we've got some sound effects. I think that's supposed to be squealing tyres, followed by the revving motor, and the white light comes on. And the next one, that's reversing. And the next one, that LED doesn't work. I burnt that out when I was playing with it. So we've only got that one as the front one and those two as the back ones. Still, we made some progress. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there. And you might like to subscribe over there.